If I may speak for myself as a parish pastor, a family man working in and among families, with a little experience with joy and sadness, with a little familiarity with the Bible, as an official representative of Jesus, I can convince myself that I know what God is doing. Hey, I've known Jesus my whole life. I grew up in the church. I've watched him grow up 42 times. I can tell myself that I may not know what he's about to do. I mean, even I will grant him divine freedom to do what he wants in the future. But I do know what he is doing, and looking back, I can see exactly what he was doing. It doesn't take me long to explain to him the meaning of what he did and what he should be doing now and what he might want to be doing in the future, if he knows what's good. With Jesus, I'm like Iron Mike Keenan telling Wayne Gretzky how to play hockey with Brett Hull. Gretzky left St. Louis and went to New York. Jesus left Nazareth, and Jesus can leave me too. Oh, he promises me that he will never leave me, but the thing is, I can still drive him out. And it all starts with the presumption that I know what Jesus should be doing. He's his own man. He knows what he should be doing. It's true. I am familiar with the Bible, and I do know what it says. I know it says that we were enemies of God, and while we were still enemies of God, that's when Christ died for us. And this is how it begins, the peacemaking. It begins with a fight right there in church with all his relatives, a fight about who Jesus is and whose he is. A fellow named Oliver Vanetta Lynn, nicknamed Doolittle, came back from World War II, a soldier, now unemployed, looking for work and for a wife. He was from Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, pronounced Butcher Holler. He found a job running moonshine, and he found a wife in a pretty little girl named Loretta, who could not make a decent pie. Her father was a little nervous about giving Loretta away to Mooney, as they called him now. Moonshine runners didn't last long, seeing as how federal revenuers hunted them with shotguns. In an attempt to get Oliver Doolittle Mooney Lynn to settle down working in the coal mines, he added a condition to the marriage proposal. Doolittle, don't you take my daughter away from here. But Doolittle knew who he was. No one could tell him what he should be doing, not even this coal mine hardened man, the father of his bride. Loretta conceived almost immediately, and before the baby was born, the railroad tracks had taken Doolittle and Loretta west, all the way west, from Butcher Holler, Kentucky, to Custer, Washington, where he escaped the doom of working in a coal mine to the promise in the freedom of running logging equipment. By the time Loretta was 19, they had 3 children, and a 4th was on the way. Times were hard, and Doolittle lived hard, like some men do, but he was driven to escape, to see liberty. His pretty little wife, who could not make pie, could make music, and he heard the music while she sang in the garden, and he bought her a guitar and taught her how to play it, and he brought her to a honky-tonk where she was terrified. This is not how you do it. You do not push your pretty little wife on stage to do something she doesn't want to do. Do little, do less. His pretty little wife sang her pretty little songs to those big, tough lumberjacks, and they all fell in love with her and with her singing. A retired lumberjack from Vancouver by the name of Norm Burley heard her singing and gave her enough money to record a single with Don Grashey, a good Ontario boy from Port Arthur. The record was called I'm a Honky Tonk Girl. She had a vision one day of her father running across the field toward her, calling out for her. Then he was gone. He was dead, and they went back east to bury him in Kentucky. Well, it's all over, someone said to Doolittle. He was talking about this relationship Loretta had with her father, the tremendous guilt she had because she wasn't there, knowing that he was sick and about to die. Well, it's all over now. No, it ain't, Doolittle said. It's just beginning. She wanted to make up for what she did by moving back to Butcher Holler and helping her mother take care of her 6 little brothers and sisters. It was comfortable to come back home, to live in squalor, to sing songs in the house, to be happy with familiarity, to fulfill the duty of a daughter by helping. After all, helping is a good thing, isn't it? But Doolittle would have none of it. A hard life turned into a stormy life when he not only would not let Loretta help her mother, but he made Loretta leave their 4 children with her mother, an added burden in her grief, and he took Loretta on the road to promote the honky-tonk girl. This is not what you should be doing, Doolittle. Do less. But by the time they got to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, they had a hit record. And it wasn't long before the honky-tonk girl became the coal miner's daughter. After a nervous breakdown and after a ton of fights with her husband, who still lived hard and still pushed hard. It was Doolittle Lynn who would not be told what he should be doing, not from the very beginning. It was Doolittle Lynn who did a lot to give us Loretta Lynn, the first lady of country music. We're going to fight Jesus because it is in our nature to do so, sinful and unclean. We're going to fight Jesus. He's going to provoke us out of our comfort. We're going to rush upon him and lay hands on him to kill him, and he's going to say, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. By nature, sinful and unclean. This relationship with Jesus is how he makes those who love him rise from comfort. I'm not here to be your boy, he says, and if you think I'm here to stay here and be your boy, I'll take myself to people who don't presume to tell me what I should be doing. Even us church people, and he will be his own man. Where's he going? I don't know. But I do know that we're only in Luke chapter 4 right now. We've got 20 more chapters to go. Now, you might be hearing that it's all over, that the grand experiment of a Christian society has finally run out of steam, and that we should just make like turtles and hide in our nice church buildings, shriveling up, laying claim to our boys, saying to ourselves, well, it's over now. But at least we can help people. Jesus, do some miracles. No, it ain't. It's just beginning. The Spirit of the Lord has hit you, and you've done what you've done, laying your hands on Jesus. But you've got 20 more chapters ahead of you, an awful long time to work out in your lives what it means that Jesus has the Spirit of the Lord upon him, and that he wields it like a sword. That Spirit livens you up to hear the preaching of the good news to the poor. Now, whatever form that takes, it always starts as a preaching of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. What form worked in the days when this continent was being settled by Christians probably won't work now. What worked in the war days of the 20th century probably won't work now. What form worked during the post-war boom probably won't work now. What does work now? Who knows? In this way, repentance livens us. The Spirit of the Lord is dividing us up right down to our bones to see what we're made of, to see what kind of metal we have. That kind of probing is going to cause a reaction to go, to get going. How far do you want to go? Do you want to take life all the way to your home to give it to your family? Do you want to take life all the way to Nicaragua or Haiti to give it to your friends there? Do you want to take life all the way to the cross? And what, just what, is beyond the cross? Repentance gives us hope that we will be set free to see whatever is beyond the cross, to see the year of the Lord's favor.